Nothing says comfort food more than a heaping plate of mac and cheese, but everyone's got their own secrets to be making the perfect mac and cheese. However, today's episode of Register for Dinner, I'll be showing you the only way you should be making mac and cheese at home. So stay tuned. Before we get started making quite possibly the greatest mac and cheese on earth, if you're new to Register for Dinner, do me a favor and subscribe to our channel down below, hit that little notification bell, and join the RFD gang. Now, like I mentioned, there is a million recipes out there for the perfect mac and cheese. There's some that call for a roux with a bechamel sauce and some that don't. Me personally, I've always screwed up when I make the bechamel because it becomes very grainy. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is get your pan to medium-high heat, and you're gonna add 3 cups of heavy whipping cream to your saucepan. While this is heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and add my spices. So in this little bowl, I have a teaspoon of each, and it's gonna be smoked paprika, Cajun seasoning, salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. And we're gonna whisk this up. Meanwhile, while this is heating up, I have another pot on the stove behind me that I have brought to a rolling boil, seasoned with salt and a little bit of olive oil, and that's just to heat my macaroni. So we're gonna cook the macaroni to al dente. So I went ahead and heated up my heavy cream, so now it's time to add your cheese. So on this platter, I have a cup of Colby Jack, cup of extra sharp cheddar, and then a cup of smoked gouda. So you're gonna wanna slowly incorporate your cheese into your heavy cream. Be sure not to just dump it all in at once, because then the cheese won't melt. It'll start to clump together and you're not gonna get that really creamy, gooey mac and cheese that you look for. Sit this down and you're just gonna whisk until your cheese starts to melt, and then just keep adding more and more cheese. And if you're like me, you can really never have too much cheese for mac and cheese. I think that's impossible. And as you add more cheese, you'll start to notice that the heavy cream cheese sauce really starts to thicken up, which is exactly what you want. All right, I think we can just dump the rest in now. All right, my cheese sauce is done. I got my macaroni strained completely. You wanna make sure you strain it completely full of water. And now it's time to transfer it to a large bowl, because this is the strange part, but believe me guys, it works. We are going to take a cup of sour cream and add it to our macaroni, as well as 2 tablespoons of butter. And you're just gonna mix this until the butter's completely melted and the sour cream has completely incorporated with your noodles. And for me, the sour cream just adds just that little bit of extra tang that you love in mac and cheese. And like I said, I don't remember if I said it, but I cooked my noodles to al dente because if you like them cooked a little bit more, they're gonna finish cooking when you heat them in the oven. This is going to be a baked mac and cheese dish, by the way. Now that my butter's been completely melted, my sour cream is well absorbed in the noodles, it's time to add the cheese sauce, and be generous. So I'm going to take all of this cheese sauce and pour it into my noodles. It's okay, it's supposed to cover the top, because the thing is, what I've found is when you bake them, the noodles really absorb a lot of that cheese sauce, so you don't want it to be dry. That's probably the worst thing when you have mac and cheese, is when it's all dried out. Oh man, that smoked gouda really comes through. It smells fantastic. All right, now that my mac and cheese is almost complete, it's time for the baking portion. So I have here a lightly greased baking dish, and I'm gonna take my beautiful mac and cheese, make sure to get every little bit, because that all counts. And I'm gonna finish it off with more cheese, because why not? So I have here some more freshly grated Colby Jack. And this is going to bake in the oven, set at 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until the top is browned and delicious looking. Take a look at that. Now let's bake this bad boy. All right, and after 30 minutes at 350, you should be left with this. I know this looks good, you just want to dive in there, but trust me, give it about 5 to 10 minutes, let that cheese sauce thicken back up a little bit, and also because if you eat this right now, you will burn the inside of your mouth beyond belief. So patience is a virtue, believe me, it'll be well worth it. After 10 beautiful minutes of being patient waiting, the results, like I said, are well worth it. I can't wait to try this. Time for the taste test. And good morning, Hendrix. He's passed out right next to me. Like I said, the best mac and cheese you will ever make at home. It's creamy, it's cheesy, it's gouda. But just like that, we're done with yet another episode of Regester for Dinner. And I'm your host, Sebastian Regester. And if you enjoyed today's video, can't wait for us to cook something else up. Make sure you smash that like button, comment below, and subscribe. But until next time, stay hungry, my friends.